So, Allie and Stephanie, welcome to Heart of the City.
Thanks for having us.
So
Thank you for
excited to have
having
you
us.
guys. Yes. So if our listeners don't know, the two of you own the most premier bridal boutique in our city and beyond. You all are nationally, maybe globally recognized for your brides and your service and the way you conduct yourselves. So I'm so excited to have you on, and we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Okay, let's start out by let's talk about how you guys met. Like, I know you're friends. How'd you meet?
You go first. So my mom was the seamstress at Monica's when I was little. And she started around when I was 10, and around when I was like 12, Stephanie started. And she was 17 at the time. So I would come in, and we really had like a big sister, little sister kind of vibe. And we always joked with the owners like, oh, when you guys retire, we're going to buy this place and we're going to do all these things. And they would just laugh at us. But we stayed close, even when my mom like left Monica's. But she left like a decade later.
Yeah. Flash forward, the Murphys had a 5-year plan, and they said, girls, if this is what you really are serious about doing, you have 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I called Allie and I said, we have 5 years.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
And we met within that first 3 months of saying that to build a business plan.
Yep.
And we still had 5 years to go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm obsessed. That's amazing. Okay, so take us back.
We were a little obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like the dream, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so take us back to like purchasing the business. Like what were those early days like? I mean, were there challenges? What did that look like? I mean, you guys were young, right?
We were young. And at the time, I had a full-time job. And Stephanie was working, obviously, still full-time managing Monica's. And the Murphys were kind of old school, and they wouldn't let her work on like anything business-wise. Like if a phone call had to be made for a license or something, they wouldn't let her work on it during business hours. So she could only do it on her days off.
Yeah.
And so I was working, and we had like filed for all the things, and it took forever to find financing. It was really, really hard. The owners didn't want to do owner financing, which I get. They wanted to, cut and walk away, as they should. They were retiring. Yeah. And so that was really hard at first. But we got very lucky. Like the third or fourth bank we went to, we finally found somebody that was like, well, we could do an SBA loan. And nobody wants to do those. Like nobody wants to do SBA loans.
They're worth every hoop. But we couldn't have any of
let's
our
start a
money back.
GoFundMe. What?
Exactly. Yeah. It was a really, like the week before we bought was just
Chaotic.
really chaotic. So I was working a full-time job. I would work on Saturdays just to kind of see how the Murphys did things and start to get my hands wet with their inventory. And so I was like literally I had put my 2 weeks notice in for my job, like everything, my big, like
it was done.
It was done.
You were doing it.
It was done. They were like, I was in sales, so they were like, we're picking up your car. I was like, I don't have a car.
Oh.
I don't have anything. And we just, we found it.
You did.
We found some money from some very wonderful angel, and which we were able to pay back really quickly. Thank
Yeah,
God.
I was like, as soon as
course.
this is over with,
You're like,
then
let
I
us
get
just
to
sell
have
a
my
dress or
money back.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
That was wild. And Steph probably did more paperwork than, is humanly fathomable. Like the list of stuff you have to have for your SBA loan is crazy.
Wow.
Yes.
Like, you're filing stuff that like you don't even.
And her generation had already started living a pretty good percentage electronically, and I had not yet.
No, they didn't.
So it was
they didn't
literally
use computers. They used iPads like a little bit, but
Paper
not.
trail after paper trail after.
So you were like drowning in the paperwork. Well, sounds like you guys are the dream team in that regard, because you were kind of handling logistics and behind the scenes and like, okay, so let's unpack being friends and being in business. I'm sure there are challenges. Have there been tough days? Have there been tough conversations? Let's talk a little bit about that.
I'll let you start with that.
Yeah, always. It is going into it that this person is like your family.
Oh.
we just went through the fire, and that is why I get really emotional, because I always, even from the minute we bought this business, I used to say to Allie, I'll buy you out if you get tired of it, blah, blah, blah. And then after we went through the fire, I was like, I already thought I didn't want to do this without you, even though I said that at the beginning, but now I'm definitely sure I don't want to do this without you. There's not one hard thing that we've ever had to get through for or against each other that wasn't better in the end, that we had both of our very, very different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because when we do have like a hard conversation, which I can maybe count on one hand, like the fights that we've had, but I think we were lucky because we are in different places in our lives, and we always have been. So she had just had just had a baby when she started at Monica's. I was in middle school.
Our lives are different.
That's a bit of a contrast.
We're always in different spots. So it's not like two people, like two young moms that are trying to balance all that, and that just gets hard. Like she's
Mine
been
was
able.
grown by the time hers came along.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's been like, that was a funny conversation because it was like maybe May, we bought the store in July, and we were walking out after one Saturday, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. We're just in the parking lot. She was like, what's up? And I was like, I'm pregnant.
Oh.
And she was like, okay. And like
What
threw her
better
arms
time?
around me and like just, I mean, exactly you would want somebody to react like that. But we have had, I think what's funny is we have a very specific fight, like timeline of events.
Yes.
So we will both be angry about something, like, and keep it inside. And we know the other one is angry. We know we're angry.
You can feel the energy.
Totally.
Yeah, you totally
100%.
can. And then something will happen where one of us, like, doesn't say anything nasty, but, like, will kind of pop off at the other one. Like, and it won't even be that mean, but it'll
Just
like
answer
crack the
quickly.
can. Yes.
Answering abruptly or walking away abruptly.
And then at that point, the other one goes away and like kind of like wallows in a corner. And and the other one goes and just gets like angry. But we don't really talk to anybody about it. And once we've both calmed down, it's just kind of a mutual, we come back together and we're like, okay, I know you care about this ultimately. But it's not easy. It's just how we work.
We care so much about different things within the business and within our families and within our communities. We have very, very different groups of friends, and we don't have the same style. We don't have the same dinner choices. There's a lot of things that we don't do the same. And when we click at work, it's just, there's nothing like that. Nothing like that. And you can feel when someone's not getting along or a vibe, and we'll pull that back and we'll say, we know this is a thing and we're going to discuss it, but we don't have time right now. We're going to 86 this. Yeah. So at first, I think it was a little bit harder to hide.
Yeah.
But now we know each other's personality enough to know if we acknowledge there's a thing, put a pin in it, we'll come back to it. It just brings it kind of back down to earth way easier.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Like, I would absolutely consider her one of my very best friends, but like, we don't hang out on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
she
Isn't
has
that
her
crazy?
own, and we can like be in each other's groups of friends.
Yeah.
But she has her own book club, and I have like my interests and my friends.
Your
like
mahjong.
my mahjong crew, and it just, I don't know. We kind of got lucky. Like, we didn't actually really think it through when we were like, oh, this is a friend.
Yeah.
I think it just more felt like this is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
God was looking out for us because we did not put any thought into that.
I mean, it's rare. I feel like it is rare that you're going to make it with a friend, like a pre-existing friend going into business.
Absolutely it is.
Wow. That is crazy.
And I need her for 100 million things, even though I say all the time, go ahead and go. I don't need you for anything. I think we say that to each other a lot.
But you know.
And I can't believe how many times our employees hear us tell each other, go ahead, I don't need you for anything. Because we don't do the same part of each day.
Let's talk about that. Like, what are your different superpowers?
So I do all of our like marketing, social media, anything in the community. That is like where I'm heavily focused. We both kind of split buying. So like when we're choosing dresses, so we're all, you know, staying up on the trends and the girls are saying on the floor. But we split that part, and we also kind of split. I do a lot of the sales training with the girls. She does too, but like I do my side of sales training and she does her side.
Mine's more administrative, and hers is more personality on the sales floor. I would say now.
Yeah.
Now that we kind of know. Before we would kind of get in each other's sandbox a little bit, just because I was selling so much more heavily than Allie, because I'd been there for a while. But once all the new things and all the new training and all the new designers came in, she started to be better as the personality in the sales floor. And I was better in the,
Props
here's
to
how
you.
you use Bridal Live, which is our POS system and that kind of thing.
Props to you for recognizing that. I feel like sometimes it's hard to like step down from something that you felt like you were the, you know, the one.
Which also gives me the ability to be in alterations a lot more, which I didn't do at all in the beginning, and I really always wanted to get my hands in that world.
Yeah.
And now I would say in slow months, the seamstresses and I split it 3 ways. But in really busy months, I don't have time to wear that hat very often, and they go back to much more 50-50. But I do get to get my hands in there a lot.
Yeah,
in
you
slow
are
season.
instrumental in that department.
Yeah.
Because she allows our seamstresses to actually sew.
That's awesome.
Seamstresses are very hard to come by. Very hard to
I
come
can
by.
imagine. Yeah, it's a little cutthroat.
Just a dying art. Like, and we were talking a little bit earlier before about how like weddings are so expensive, and they are. They absolutely are. But what I think people need to remember is like when you are buying for a wedding, you're doing all mostly local people. You're paying an actual person to take time away from their family and support their family. And we all want to live comfortably. I mean, we're not driving Bentleys out here, but like we all have
Totally.
to live and pay for our kids and do, you know. And I think people forget that when they balk at some of those prices.
Totally.
Like, trust me, if we were gajillionaires, I would not be here in town. I'd be gone. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm traveling. I cannot come in
can't
for
be
the
there.
podcast.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
Anyway, that was kind of a sidebar.
No, I totally get it. Okay, so let's talk about, you guys are fully female owned and operated. Like, talk about the team you've built.
Oh, gosh.
They're amazing.
We would have to start that with the seamstresses
Yeah.
because they've been there the longest.
Margarita has been there over 20 years now.
Yeah. She
Wow.
came right, honestly, either the year before me or after me. Because she did work with your mom for a significant
So-
amount of time. So she's been there around 25 years. And she took a little bit of a time off when she had her own shop on Signal for a couple years and then came right back. So, and then Ash has been with us now for almost 12 years. And she owned her own store in Florida and then married her husband and moved up here and didn't want to own a store anymore.
was
but
lucky.
Wanted to work with one. She actually had a fashion design degree, so she wanted to be more in that side of it than on the sales side of it. So another
Rock star.
Yeah.
Margarita, going back to her for just a Margarita's from Honduras, and she moved here to start work for her kids and send money back to her family.
Yeah.
And her plan is her and her mom are building a house in Honduras. That's where like all her money goes.
The foundation's already built.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where she's going to retire. So she's pretty, I mean, her story is wild.
Yeah.
But she is the hardest worker I have ever seen.
How inspiring
She
to be around
instills
that every day.
She instills an inability for us to be able to say, we just can't say no sometimes when we should say no. And I think a lot of that comes from people like Margarita and Dolores and your mom.
Yeah, we're like, we can figure it out.
Like,
we'll
yeah,
figure
we'll
out how to
figure it
fit
out.
that in. Everybody else did. We probably can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Steph, I know you touched on it a little bit, but if you guys are comfortable, let's go back to the fire and kind of what was the phone call? How did you all find out? Tell us a little bit about that.
I'll let you start because you're the one that was actually awake.
Oh,
So
But yes, we're totally comfortable.
we
can.
did receive a message from the alarm company. I did not get it before I got all the other bad news, but I always start by saying, like, we did get messages from the alarm company. but it was just power outage. That's how quick the whole thing happened. It just registered as a power outage. And then our seamstress Ashley, I just about said my friend Ashley because she is my friend Ashley. Her niece, I think I'm getting it correct, was a nurse in the ER and had heard smoke inhalation victims coming from 417 Fraser Avenue. And she said, that sounds really familiar, but I don't know why. She looked it up, saw it on Twitter, building on fire, fire trucks all around it. Calls Ashley to break through her do not disturb, so calls her twice. Ashley answers. Ashley does the same to me. I have to give you the worst phone call I've ever had to give you, but you have to get in the car and go to the store. I think it's on fire. I just immediately I'm in my PJs. I don't even have a clue what I look like. I was in my house shoes. It's 4:00 in the morning. I drive down there. It's just like she described it. And the people at Berkshire Hathaway are already there because some of them live in the building and like that's our hub and we're meeting. And I try to call Allie and she doesn't answer. And I get through to Josh around 5 and I said, when does she have to get the kids up for school? He tells me. I was like, don't wake her up. There's there's nothing we can do.
So they let me sleep.
Nothing we can do. Don't wake her up. Because when she wakes up and this becomes her hell, it's not going to stop. Just let her sleep.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the nicest he's ever woken me up, by the way. Hey, babe. Usually it's like, hey, gotta get up. He's like, hi, honey.
Oh
like,
my
just
gosh.
So sweet. I was
The
like,
daunting awakening.
Yeah.
But he had since spoken to Allie's mom or stepdad. I can't remember which one.
I don't remember which one.
And Allie's mom had jumped in the car. They live close to Nashville and was already on her way here before Allie even knew what had hit her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called her on my way, and she was like, yep, I'm about 45 minutes away. It was, I had missed phone calls from, like, the people in the building because I'm kind of their main contact, but it just didn't ring through the do not disturb, but I had a voicemail from Don, and he's like, you can tell he's, like, running, and he's like, Allie, there's been a fire in the building, like, I think everybody's okay, but I just want to let you know, call me back as soon as you can. And it's like,
it's my message said it's really bad, but I think they have it out. Like,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
horrifying.
yeah, it was crazy.
So what
and then the fire chief says, we can't go in there for hours.
so you
and
had
we
no
said-
idea the extent.
No.
No, but so this was actually a very early Friday morning, and we had brides picking up their dresses
For that weekend.
for that weekend.
Hanging out of the bags.
Yeah, we steam and press every bride's dress, and so they're all, like just
I
hanging
had to
out.
see Sally's face when I said that.
So Stephanie sweet talked the fire chief, and he went in there with her and pulled out the 6 dresses of the brides because they were like hanging. They could barely see like what
Were
they
you
were looking at.
masked?
So there were 4 gowns, but there were 2 really, really long veils. So it felt like 6 dresses. So I had to prep everybody for like, I need 6 bodies. I know exactly where they are. Nobody touch anything until I tell you to, because as soon as you started touching things, it started turning gray. Like, don't touch anything anywhere I don't tell you to touch it. And then the guy says, we have to get in and out of there in 30 seconds. And he said, I'm being ridiculous. We have really like a few minutes, but like we have to get in and out of there because the carbon monoxide detectors are still on alert. Mm-hmm. No power. It's completely dark in there, so everyone has headlamps on. And the water's 2 or 3 inches deep in there at the time.
Yeah,
Still.
all the sprinklers went off, obviously.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Horrific.
Like, click, click, click through the water, like, nobody step in here until I see that the trains are not on the floor. They were not.
So
Thank
you
you,
got the
Jesus in
dresses.
heaven.
So we got the
We
dresses.
got the dresses.
But they, I mean, I feel like this is safe. Everybody's married now, but they were full of smoke. Like,
We
just
had to
full of
hand
smoke.
clean them. Even if they didn't have spots on them, you could smell it.
One of our friends who actually used to be a seamstress heard what was going on, came immediately over because she lives very close to the store. She is actually a
Donor transplant.
a donor transplant nurse. We didn't have anything to clean these gowns in, so she had styrofoam coolers that are supposed to be used for organs.
in her trunk.
And we put OxyClean and water in these coolers,
And we're
we're dunking these dresses. and we're rinsing them out in one of those little bar sinks that's like really shallow, and then we dunk them again.
Hand drying them.
We went and bought 5 hair
What time of day
dryers.
is this at this
It's
point?
like 5 a.m.
Yeah, between
6,
5
7
and
a.m.
7:30 in the morning, this all went down.
And so my mom got there, Margarita got there, the girls got there, and everybody just stood taking turns, like with a hair dryer, drying each layer of these dresses.
I think we killed 2 of them
We killed
in
2.
that first day.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys. That's
And then Allie and I
insane.
were telling the customers, we're going to hand deliver your dress to the store. To your venue.
Yeah,
When
we were
we're
like,
finished, it's safe. I have my eyes on it. Some wanted me to send them pictures, and I understood that. Here it is. I'm just de-smoking it, making sure it doesn't smell goofy on you for your big day.
Wow.
Playing it down as much as I could. And then the next day, when everything was dry and we knew that the spots were out, even if we had to do things to it more than one time, they got delivered and everything was perfect.
I mean, amidst your business like crumbling before your eyes, you guys go to action for your brides. I mean,
Have
that's
to.
but they couldn't not get married in the
I
dresses.
mean, that's amazing.
I mean, I think if somebody had like not had their dress, I don't know if I would be like strong enough to show my face in this town. It would
Yeah.
just have killed me.
And then you spend months putting them in the bag, taking them out of the bag, putting them in the bag, taking them out of the bag, because that stuff ages.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're day one, you feel really great about something, you get it back out.
Totally.
That looks suspicious.
So as the day goes on, so we get those out, those are being worked on. We know that we have to get the other bride's dresses out. And we actually had a flood plan that worked as a fire plan as well. So all of our bride's dresses are kept in 2 different closets. And those closets do not have sprinklers, and the dresses are hung super high off the floor. So if it floods, the bottoms don't touch any water. And that worked. And so we were like, okay, now we have to start getting those dresses out, because obviously the longer they sit in there, they're in bags, but like the longer they sit, the worse. So nobody's dress got wet, nobody's dress caught on fire. So the fire chief is still not wanting to let us go in the building, but we're like, we got to get this stuff and go. So he agreed to let it. He was like, you count to 30, you get whatever, you come back out, and then you have to stand out here for 5 minutes.
Wow.
So
And I'm screaming every minute and a half, Alice, get out of there.
yeah.
Call her
It's
Alice.
way longer than 30 minutes.
Because I'm like, oh, computer, oh, and this.
Of course. You're like, oh, well.
Yeah. So Berkshire Hathaway was so sweet. We basically took over their entire offices.
Those are your neighbors.
Yeah, those are our neighbors.
Yeah.
So they live in the building as well. Like their home is there, and they also own Berkshire Hathaway next door to us. So
Gosh, they have been amazing.
they've been amazing. But they let us just take over. We had like just piles of dresses and bags. So our first move is like, all right, we went by like delivery date. So like, when's her wedding? Is it the soonest? Like, let's get those out first. And
Who's
so
getting married first? Those are
let's
the
get those
dresses we
first.
made.
So we went through changing bags and Febrezing and airing out, and we didn't ever put out anything that day because we needed to see every dress, and we felt like we needed to contact every customer individually.
Of course.
I couldn't put that on the team.
no.
No.
That needed to come from Allie and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that was wild. But no brides lost their dresses.
That's insane, you
We
guys.
the ones that we had time and knew deserved a little bit more of attention because of what they were made out of or whatever. We reached out to the girls and said, this is covered by insurance. We're sending it to the professional gown cleaners in New York. They're gonna clean it. It'll be back in a few weeks. And they were
Amazing.
like, fine, awesome.
Everybody has
Wow.
been so
Good.
wonderful. Like really
So,
wonderful.
how did you all rally? Like emotionally, physically, as leaders? I mean, you're having to your girls are out of work, y'all are out of work. I mean, what did those like weeks look
I
like?
forget. I think.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good at blocking out the trauma.
That day we didn't get all the dresses out until Sunday. This was Friday. We couldn't get them all out until Sunday. Those carbon monoxide detectors went off. The fire was started at 2 a.m. They went off until like almost 8 p.m. So like we were still technically not supposed to be there, and we're like, whatever.
And the next day they would chirp everyone.
And they would still keep chirping. So on Sunday night, I think it was Sunday night, all the dresses are out. and it was just me and her wife, and we sat down, and I was just like, we just kind of looked at each other and didn't even really say anything. I didn't cry. She's more of the crier, but we definitely were like, what do we do at this point? And I had talked with insurance, but you never know. You think you have enough insurance, but you never know until it happens because there's so many nuances. Now, luckily, we were very well taken care of. Our insurance guy actually came that morning, dropped his kids off at school, helped us carry dresses out of there, filed our claim for us. He has checked in on us multiple times. He's been wonderful. So, I mean, there was a point where we looked at each other and said, like, do we even want to do this anymore? Like,
can we recover from this? This is a lot.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
So you considered walking away. Like there was a part of you that was like,
I think we were so defeated. We didn't know how to not put it on the table, which was shocking for both of us.
Yeah.
I think we were terrified to say it out loud because we couldn't believe we were about to say it to the other one.
Yeah. And when we did, we kind of like, it felt like a relief just to know that you not felt as bad. I didn't want you to feel as bad, but just like we were on the same page of like, okay, we do, like, this is very bad. Now, we had an addition to our, like, regular business insurance, regular building insurance. We had something called business interruption insurance. And with business interruption, insurance will basically cover your business income for a year. So with that, we are able to pay our girls. We are able to like pay ourselves, pay our rent, pay our mortgage. They are paying for our temporary space, everything it took to put together that temporary space. So like insurance has covered all of that, and our girls are fully paid for a year.
Wow.
So
that was at least a huge relief.
Huge relief.
One of the main things I remember, I don't remember a lot. It took me a long time to remember this guy's name, but I remember him saying that he was a member of the disaster part of insurance, and if he was there, that was a big deal. And I remember him, and I remember him asking, "What's your most important thing that you're thinking about right now?" And I said, "Not losing my employees. Not losing my employees." And he said, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah. Wow. They were so sweet too. The girls didn't ask us for a couple weeks. No. They were like, "Do we need to be looking for other jobs?" And we were able at that point. Honestly, that
I think we had just gotten out of a meeting with him, and we asked them what their thoughts were. And that was
what they were thinking.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So that has been the biggest. The brides didn't lose anything, and we didn't lose any of our people. Yeah.
And you all have like pivoted, and you're making it work, and you're going to be back in your beautiful space in no time.
Our pop-up will be ready soon. Allie's giving it the first tryout this weekend with a customer, but we're not ready for public yet. So Allie just knows somebody getting married, so we're like trying to work out some kinks.
That's really been the hardest thing, actually, is like we've known several brides that are getting married now, and due to their dates, that would have been our brides.
Yeah.
And due to the dates, they've had to buy their dresses elsewhere.
Our previous manager just had to say yes to a dress somewhere else.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it broke her heart. Broke
all of our hearts. But she's very well taken care of where she is.
She is.
Good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, I know your vision for your shop is one thing that really drew me to you guys as business owners. Let's talk a little bit about your passion for inclusivity. Like what really drives that?
So, can I?
Yes.
Okay. So Stephanie is married to a woman, and she had a really hard time when we first bought the business. I wanted to go ahead and be like, hey, like, let's showcase same-sex couples. Let's do this. And she had a very hard time doing that. The previous generation was just not as open to those things, and she was really scared. She was really scared that people that had bought their dresses from her and been her customer for 18 years, 15 years would look at her differently. And so it took years of me kind of being like, we all love you, right? Like, that everybody is going to be fine. She even got, when she and Jesse got married, I had to beg her to let me put like one photo of her and Jesse up.
And it wasn't until the year after's Pride Month.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that for me, it drives from that because I'm looking at this person that has given everything to every bride she's ever worked with, to this business that she loves and she is so passionate about. And I'm like, why? She needs to know that people still love her and aren't going to like look at her any different. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, it's like me proving it to her. And I have same-sex marriages in my family.
As do I.
To me, it's inconceivable that anybody would.
But it was this.
It just wasn't how I was raised. It's inconceivable that anybody would turn a blind eye to something or push them out. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't want anybody to feel like I was watching her feel. Like her dresses were her and Jesse's dresses were phenomenal. Waters Waters is the designer that gifted her dress.
Gifted me my dress.
We've worked with him for decades. It was just inconceivable to me that she didn't feel good about that. Mm-hmm. I didn't want anybody.
I even had our vendors sign in the contract that they wouldn't share a wedding on social media or tag Monica's in it.
So what does it feel like today to be representative of such a inclusive space?
Really good. Really good. Really good. But I knew that as soon as I got on the level of putting it all over social media that we were inclusive, that I was going to have to share my story. And so you go through those checklists in your head. If such and such sees this on the internet, do they know? And I couldn't believe that after 10 years, I was still asking myself that question. Do they know? And then this one insisted that when we rebranded and redid our website that year previous, following
5 or 6 years ago,
the year following our wedding, that in my bio I was going to put my wife and her name. And she said, you don't have to go into specifics. You don't have to give them any more than they need, but she's going to be mentioned in my bio. And then I did it, and then something about it just like made it finite to me that I didn't care who knew anymore.
How beautiful. That's amazing. Yeah. I love that.
Who knew we were going to need tissue at this
Who
time?
knew? I know.
I did.
It's
you.
I should have. I'm sorry. I'm failing you. Okay. I want to wrap up with a little bit of a game.
Oh.
So I am going to rattle off some things, and I want you all to just try to simultaneously say which one it matches most, okay, between Allie and Stephanie.
Okay.
Okay, who is more likely to cry in a dress appointment?
Stephanie.
I'm like, okay, I think we know that after today. Okay, who's more organized?
Stephanie.
Okay.
Shocker.
Most likely to say yes to a risky idea?
Allie.
Allie, okay. Love it. Who brings snacks to meetings?
Both.
You bring more snacks. Stephanie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You walk around with a lot of snacks in that big old
Allie's great at hangover snacks. I'm good at mom snacks.
Yes.
That's great. Most likely to send a late night text about work?
Stephanie.
Oh, wow. Okay, Stephanie, I love it. Okay, so really what excites you guys most about Monica's today?
I was terrified for the past 5 months, but I think now with the rebranding and getting to literally start from scratch and make this truly, without a shadow of a doubt, exactly who we are and what all we've sucked out of the business is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a whole new adventure, even though it's the same path.
Yeah. I think, like anything, with time, you feel more like yourself and you feel more confident in putting forth what you want. And when we get back in our space, which we are so proud of, we moved in a year before the fire.
Yeah.
But we own it now. So we own our space. We have new branding coming out that is, I just think, truly us.
Yes.
I feel really confident in it. Not that I didn't love our last logo, but that was kind of, we're still getting our
The
feet.
youthful side of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're old. No, I'm just kidding.
Now we're
Well, you've
seasoned.
evolved. You've evolved.
We've evolved.
As you will continue.
And you know,
It's Monica's 50-year anniversary this
yes,
year.
it is.
Shouts
We're
out.
50. And honestly, what's kind of really exciting to me is so we say all our brides' dresses were fine, but we lost all of our samples. So like 500 dresses gone. But it kind of is just like forcing you to, if you had to start your closet over, that's kind of exciting.
Restart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've been able to do that. That's kind of fun.
That's part of the whole fresh.
Everything.
Yeah, you get to choose it all.
I love
But yeah,
it.
and we're turning 50.
Yeah.
And Monica actually, so Monica, who started this, she is still kicking. She was a Holocaust survivor. And she and my mom actually played golf together in Nashville.
Yeah.
Like totally full circle.
Obsessed.
And she was so sweet. A couple years ago, her and my mom were eating lunch. And she was like, Cindy, you know, Monica's turns 50 in 2025. And my mom was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And she goes, do you think if the girls like have a party, they'd invite me?
I said, I'll come pick you up.
Are you kidding me?
I'll drive Miss Daisy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's
so
amazing.
We are hoping to have a big 50th later this year when we're back in our.
And we're due to
that.
have lunch with the Murphys. We have to throw them a couple dates. Those are the owners that raised us into the business and sold it to us when they
So
retired.
sweet.
So we still have a relationship with them.
That's
They're
amazing.
wonderful.
Okay, last and final. I want you guys to finish this sentence. Okay, you can each do it. You can tag team. The heart of Monica's is.
Us.
Yeah. I think our heart is we want every bride to feel as beautiful as her partner thinks she is.
Yeah.
Like, every woman deserves, every person deserves to look at themselves and be like, oh, like,
I'm evaluating you the minute you walk through the door, but I can promise you it's for all the good things. Don't think that I'm not looking you straight up and down and all around every minute that I'm talking to you before I put you in a dress. But it's for all the right reasons.
we want
Yeah.
it to, we want
I
it to
want
be
you
that.
to feel amazing.
I love that. Thanks, ladies. You guys
Thank
are
you.
both incredible, and I'm so glad you guys came on Heart of the City today. Thanks for being
having
here.
us.
Thank you for having us. We adore you.
Yes.
Woo!
We did the first one done. Do you feel